Hello everyone and welcome back to the good stuff. We are continuing the Paul Morphy saga, and after this 1858 simultaneous exhibition match Morphy played in Birmingham, where he faced 8 opponents simultaneously blindfold, now it's again time to revisit his match with Howard Staunton. And what will happen with this match? Will Morphy even face Staunton? Well, Staunton has accepted the match, and Morphy said that he will play a match anywhere in between 100 pounds all the way up to 1,000 pounds, and the match was agreed upon to be played for 500 pounds. And even though 500 pounds might not seem all that much to you nowadays, in 1858 that was a whole lot of money. By using an inflation calculator online, I have learned that 500 pounds in 1858 would be 62,540 pounds today. So that's a lot of money. And the problem was Morphy's parents did not allow Morphy to play for money, because Morphy, although he was very young, Morphy did turn 21 by the time he turned 21 in July, and this was played in August, and he didn't have to listen to his parents. But his parents said that if he plays for money or if he embarrasses the family in any way, that they will send soldiers over to England to drag him back to New Orleans. And Morphy had a plan. Morphy, even when he played against Lowenthal, they played for 100 pounds. But Morphy, if he lost, of course, the plan was for Morphy not to lose. So if you don't lose, you don't have to, give any money. And in case Morphy won and won some money from Lowenthal, then Morphy would decline the money. So either way, no money goes to goes from or comes to Morphy's hands. So that's how he was handling that. But what's very interesting is that even when Morphy was still in the United States and he was playing chess there, he did play for money. We all remember the $300 match Morphy played against Lowenthal when Lowenthal visited New Orleans, and there were also some lesser matches of $100, and his family seemed to be okay with that. But now, for some reason, they did not want Morphy to play anymore for money. So that could present itself to be a problem, but Morphy agreed to the terms, and Staunton said, as the quote above the board says, that I will play you at the beginning of November. And like we said, that simultaneous exhibition that took place in Birmingham was somewhere in August, I think, so he did have some time until the beginning of November to face some other chess players. So Morphy visited Paris, and there he will face some very, very strong players. While traveling there, Morphy said that he wasn't feeling all that great, but that he would still very much like to crush everyone. Of course, I mean, why else would he go there? And he will meet for the first match. He will meet Daniel Harwitz, and he was one of the strongest players there. But when he first arrived, Morphy did not introduce himself, and of course, no one knew what he looked like. So he came to the famous Cafe de la Regenza, and there he spectated some of the games that were being played, and he learned from whispers from around the tables that Daniel Harwitz will be arriving on Saturday. So Morphy had some time to check out the other players and maybe even challenge them as well. And Cafe de la Regenza is the most famous bar. Maybe even they had a library, I don't know, but it's definitely the most famous bar in the world where chess has been played, and some of the most famous names in the world have been known to play chess there. Some of the names that I will mention are, for example, Benjamin Franklin played there, and Benjamin Franklin played there with Philidor, none other. Maximilien Robespierre also played there. Napoleon played there himself. Of the famous French players, Kiesertsky, Rosenthal, and Labourdonnais played there. Howard Staunton played a match there against Saint-Amand in 1843, and in 1867, Wilhelm Steinitz also visited and played in a tournament. He didn't win, I think he won second place, but he did play. And also Karl Marx met with Friedrich Engels also in this cafe in 1844, so some 14 years before Morphys matches that took place here. And I even got a photo of Cafe de la Regenza. If you guys are interested, I'm gonna show it to you. Let me just load it. Because, all right, so this is what it looks like today. I don't have any ways of knowing if this is actually it, but this is what it looks like today. So if any of you are from Paris and you have been to this place, maybe you can confirm that this is in fact the one that has the over 300 years old tradition. So if this is the exact one, and here I have also one, I'm just going to show you. It's closest to the one to the age where Morphy played. This is from 1854, and I'm going to show you what it looked back then. So this is basically how it looked back then. And I don't know, it does appear to be the same cafe, but you know, like I said, for those of you who are maybe from Paris, maybe you know if they, you know, redecorated, or maybe they moved it, or maybe it was closed and then reopened somewhere else. But this is basically the place, and it says it was founded in 1718, which, you know, that's I don't know if it's the longest existing bar, but it definitely has tradition, and some of the most famous names, not only in chess but also in the entire world, played there. So that being said, Morphy's first opponent here, okay, he played some lesser matches here, and the games were not recorded. He played some blindfold games, some games with the odds of a pawn and the move, and he pretty much crushed everyone. But here is the first serious opponent that he faces, and that's Paul Journeau. I don't know if I'm pronouncing these names right. I mean, I've never actually learned how to properly pronounce French names, so you are welcome to, you know, mention in the comments how to pronounce it if we ever stumble upon such a name again. And here he faces Paul Journeau. Like I said, he was a member of the Café de la Régence chess club in Paris, and he was one of the leading French masters from 1850 to 1860. And it's a very interesting game, so let's check it out. First, we're going to show a few games Morphy played against Journeau, and then we're going to see what else happened in Paris during Morphy's visit here, and what will be of the match with Howard Staunton. So Morphy has the white pieces, and as usual, he opens with e4. Journeau plays c5. He goes for the Sicilian defense. We have d4, striking immediately in the center, and c captures on d4. So a bit of a different move order than how it is played today. Knight to f3, and now e5, defending this pawn. And it's interesting, it seems like the pawn is hanging, but not really. If the knight is captured, then queen to a5 check, and you lose a knight. I remember when I started playing chess, I of course was going through some Morphy games, and I was feeling invincible, and then I came to this tournament. I think it was a blitz tournament, and my opponent played this with black, and I actually fell into this trap, and I was like, wow. Again, I have no idea what just happened, but I blundered a piece, and then I immediately resigned. It was pretty crazy. But okay, of course, Morphy's opponent did not manage to trap Morphy. Morphy just continued development, bishop to c4. We have bishop to e7. Black also continues development, and c3 now. Now challenging the center and preparing to develop the queen via the b3 square, and then he's going to go after the f7 pawn. And black says, no, not a problem. Today, a modern player would play something like knight to f6, prepare to castle, but his opponent played d6, and he said, I don't mind, you can grab an f7, it's not a problem. And interestingly, this position has never been reached again in tournament play, but it's not all that impressive, because white is definitely better here. So queen to, that's not a queen to b3, going after f7, and now just d captures on c3. In those days, in 1858, you didn't really care if you were denied castling privileges. So bishop captures on f7 with check, king to f8, and now knight captures on c3. And black just continues developing, knight to c6, preparing knight to a5 to try and get the queen away from the defense of the bishop here. So Morphy just grabs the knight, bishop captures on g8, rook captures, and now he castles to safety. And now queen to e8. Now the queen can come to f7, you can offer a queen trade, and all is well. The problem is black has does not have enough time for that. Here Morphy goes knight to g5, and now he's threatening knight captures on h7 with checkmate, because the queen is covering the f7 square. The knight has to be captured, so this is what Journeau does. Bishop captures on g5, we have bishop captures on g5, and now bishop to e6, attacking Morphy's queen, hoping for Morphy to capture on b7 to allow black for some rapid development. But Morphy not interested. Morphy just goes knight to d5. Now, the knight is a nuisance there. You have to be very careful, and there isn't really a good move here for black. So what can black play here? Nothing really. The move played by Journeau is actually the second strongest move recommended by the engine, but even that's not enough. He played h6 trying to kick away Morphy's bishop, but the position is now completely lost. So feel free to pause the video and win this beautiful short game for Morphy while I give you a couple of seconds. So for those of you who were able to do it, congratulations on spotting that the F file must open up. And for those of you who just want to enjoy the show, it's F4. F4 and black can resign. There's no good move here. The thing is, if you go after the bishop, H captures on G5, then just F captures on G5. This comes with check, and the king has nowhere to go. The knight covers the E7 square. You have to block this, and after you block this with the bishop, otherwise you can block with the queen, but you're just going to lose the queen. G6 is incoming, and there's just no defense here. Rook captures is happening, and if knight defends here, it's not a problem. Just G captures, knight captures, and now knight to C7, attacking the queen, the rook. The queen can't really move because queen captures on F7 will be checkmate. So even if you move the queen somewhere, you can just capture the rook. The other rook comes into the game, you can double rooks on the F file. Anything you do here is winning for white. And when I say anything, I mean most of the moves. So here, after this h6 move, Morphy did play f4, like we said, and now comes a move that, does not capture the bishop, but rather it comes with f captures on e5 for Morphy, because queen to d7 was played. So getting the queen a little bit to safety, freeing up the e8 square for the king, but it doesn't matter. F captures on e5 by Morphy, again, a discovered check from the rook, king to e8, and now comes the brilliancy that ends the game on the spot. Of course, you will see it, knight to c7 with check. So now the king is in check and there is no move. All of these squares are covered, so the knight must be captured. The queen captures on c7 was played, and here Morphy just played queen captures on e6 with check, and it was in this position that Paul Journeau resigned the game, as there is nothing more to be done here. What you could do is you could block check, for example, knight to e7 if you don't want to give up the queen right away, but then comes e captures on d6, now attacking the queen and the knight. And yes, you do have a little bit of a defense with queen c5 check and being able to win the bishop, but it's not enough. And Journeau saw to this, and then he just resigned. But I will show it after the king moves and you pick up the bishop. Yes, you're not getting checkmated because the queen covers the e7 square. However, rook to f7 and black has no defense. King to d8 if you try and run away, but now rook captures on e7, threatening checkmate here. And after queen b5, guarding against checkmate, just queen captures on g8. There is no defense, queen blocks, and then queen delivers checkmate. So Journeau was a very strong player himself. He saw all of this, and he was in this position. On move 17, that Paul Journeau resigned the game, as like I said, there is nothing more to be done here. So Morphy starts his Paris tour with a great victory. We'll see what else happens in Paris. A lot of great games were played here, and then we are continuing the Howard Staunton saga, because, you know, that's what this is all about. That's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and a little bit of info prior to the game. I would like to thank William Schreier, Eshel Bar, Somewhat Scholarly YouTube, Dallas Paulson, and Jerry Fitzgerald for a contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing the coverage of the Morphy saga, checking up on your wonderful suggestions, and whatever else happens in the chess world. Thank you all, I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day. And if you're just starting out with the Morphy saga, there is always a link in the description below where you can start the Morphy saga from the beginning to catch up with the rest of us. See you soon.